I'm going to take you through computer lab do's and the computer lab don'ts. In this lesson of computer lab do's and don'ts, we are going to talk about the things that we have to do when we are in the lab and those things that we don't have to do when we are in the computer lab, and we always call them the rules and regulations that governs the computer lab when we have that service in the lab, the services that we always get from the lab. Now, from the beginning, let us first define or understand what a computer laboratory is. We can say a computer laboratory is a place where computer lessons are conducted, or we can also say a computer lab is a space where computer services are provided to a defined community. This community can be a school, can be a library. So all of those services can be provided to a given community, and it is always conducted in the computer laboratory. Then let us first of all understand what are the computer lab do's and the computer lab don'ts. Now, when we talk of the computer lab do's, we always call them acceptable rules. We can also call them guidelines or behaviors concerning doing a particular activity that someone has to follow, and in this case someone has to follow the rules or the guidelines in the computer lab, or we can even say these are rules or guidelines allowed or accepted in the computer lab. So that is how we do understand computer lab do's. We always talk about them as guidelines or rules that someone has to follow while in the computer lab. Then when we talk of the computer lab don'ts, the computer lab don'ts, these are things that one should not do. So when you're in the computer lab, there are some things that you're not supposed to do, or we can also say these are conducts or habits that are not allowed in the computer lab. So those things that you're not supposed to do while in the computer lab are what we call the computer lab don'ts. Then let us now look at the computer lab do's, meaning those things that you are allowed to do or you are allowed to follow, the behaviors, the rules that you have to follow while in the computer lab. The first one, keep the computer lab clean always. So the computer lab has to be clean always when you are using it or when you are in it, especially when you're getting those services in the computer lab. The lab has to be clean always. Then number two, among those behaviors that you have to follow, number two is sit, wait and follow the teacher's instructions. So whenever you're in the computer lab, you have to follow the teacher's instructions. such that you understand or you get the services as they are supposed to be given to you. Then number 3, so whenever you're in the computer lab, you have to keep silence such that you understand what you are taught according to the service you're getting from the lab. Then number 4, handle computer devices with care. So this is very important. The computer devices are very delicate. If you handle it in any way you want, you might damage it. So computer devices must be handled with care. Then number 5, shut down the computers properly. Now when you look at computers, not like TVs, that some people even switch off their TVs using remote, but with the computers, we always follow the procedures, all the steps of shutting down the computers. It is not like a TV that you can just press the buttons and then you go. So computers, you have to shut down them properly. Then another one, turn off the wall sockets, power lights and fans. So this is also very important, that when you're in the lab, you always turn off the wall sockets. That is, after shutting down the computers, it is always advisable to turn off the wall sockets, just in case there are some power variations. So it is always good to turn off the wall sockets. So those are some of the computer lab do's, computer labs while in the lab. Then let us look at the computer lab don'ts. Now when you look at the computer lab don'ts, the first one, do not eat or drink in the computer lab. Of course, this one is very important, because computers with liquid or with any beverage, they are not friends. So it is not advisable to eat or drink in the computer lab. Since computer devices use electricity, you never know, you might carry any drink and it powers inside the computer parts, so they will get damaged. And number 2, do not carry storage media or devices to the computer lab. These media, some of them might contain computer viruses, and these viruses might infect the computers, and we again incur in other costs of maintaining them. So it is not advisable to carry these storage medias for the purpose of solving computer viruses. Then number 3, do not carry bags to the computer lab. So bags are also not allowed in the computer lab. You never know, someone might be having a big bag and ends up putting it on top of some of the computer parts, and as a result, some of these parts might be damaged just because of the weight of the bag. So it is not advisable to carry these bags, or even some people might use these bags to take some computer parts in their bags. So it is not always advisable to carry bags in the computer lab. Then number 4, do not play or run inside the computer lab. Of course, this is very important. Running or playing inside the computer lab is not allowed. You never know, you might be running and some of these wires, the cables that connects computers, they trip you and you end up falling down, or even make some of these computer parts fall down and they are damaged, so it is not always advisable to play or run inside the computer lab. Then number 5, do not change computer settings. This is very important also. It is not always good to make or change in a computer settings, since computers run because of the settings, so it is not advisable to change computer settings. Number 6, do not interchange or disconnect computer parts. Now, some of these parts connected to computers, some of them are moving parts, like when you look at a mouse, a keyboard, so it is not advisable to make or to interchange or disconnect these computer parts from one computer to another. Some of them are in the process of interchanging them, they might be damaging, so it is not advisable to interchange computer parts. And the last one, installing software is not allowed. This is very important. Some people have a tendency, or some learners have a tendency of coming with their software, so you never know, some of these software programs might be carrying viruses, and in the process of installing these software programs, also these viruses are installed, or even the program you might install on the computer, it might be not compatible with the running operating system, and you end up damaging the system. So it is not advisable to install any software program on the computer. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Computer Elites Uganda. You can share with your friends, such that we do eliminate digital divide. Thank you very much. Let us meet in the next lesson.